Hello, welcome to Techturks. Today I have Ugwem, who is the CEO and co-founder of Shyft Solutions, energy technology company that helps people manage their assets efficiently and take better energy decisions. Ugwem, thank you and welcome to Techturks. So, Shyft Solutions, what do you do in simple terms?
Yep. Shyft Power Solutions is an energy technology company. We specialize in building IoT, so that's smart things, sensors, that might be what people are more familiar with, and software to help people intelligently manage energy resources. So really we're working at giving you actionable data, actionable insights, so you can drive operational efficiency if you manage energy resources or assets, and to help optimize how those assets are performing. And when I say assets, I'm talking about things like generators, inverters, batteries, solar, and even integrations with the grid.
Okay, so let's take a step back. Why did you think there was an opportunity here? So how did Shyft Technology start? How did you get people to believe, finance it, and get to where you are right now?
Sure. So Shyft Power Solutions, formerly known as Solstice Energy Solutions, really actually was a byproduct of my research as a master and PhD student, engineering student at Stanford University. And so while I was there, I was really looking at what does the future of energy look like? There was so much innovation happening with regards to battery technology, solar costs coming down as well. And so it was a really unique opportunity to think about a different energy landscape. So first we were like, well, what could the future of energy look like? The African ecosystem and the innovation ecosystem is quite interesting when it comes to development, because we have a history of leapfrogging when it comes to development. So you've seen it in telecommunications, we leapfrog over landlines, a lot of innovation happening in fintech. And so I hypothesized that the next leapfrog was going to be in the energy landscape. And we are going to leapfrog over kind of waiting for the grid to provide reliable power, and instead complementing the grid with innovation that was happening with solar, battery technology, basically distributed energy resources. And so that's kind of how Shyft got started. And I got initial backing from academia, from a lot of universities, research institutes, the US Department of Energy, still focused entirely on Nigeria, because a lot of the issues we have in Nigeria, while it's quite stressful, they're not unique to Nigeria. And then moving into raising venture capital, growing the team here in Nigeria, and supporting our customers primarily here.
So Nigeria is a very interesting place, especially when you're trying to help people optimize and in a way also disrupting the way things are done. So, how has that journey been in terms of, trying to, what might seem to them, add additional cost to their energy, but in fact you're trying to say that, how has that journey been?
Yes, so Shyft Power Solutions is a very data-driven company. And I think that if you're going to make an investment in capital costs to manage your assets, it's really important that we can communicate to our customers, who are primarily energy service providers, facility management companies, but we do serve commercial entities and some residential segments, is really communicating to them how data actually adds value. I think we all like to believe more data, big data, that's valuable. We always, across all sectors, people think data is just valuable in and of itself. But data is a natural resource that basically needs to be leveraged and processed and turned into something valuable and useful. And so a lot of our early stage challenges and the work that we even do today is thinking about, well, how do I not just present data to our customers, but how do we turn this into something that's tangible and valuable to their business? So for example, it's one thing to say, this is how much your solar panels are producing, but it's another thing to forecast when they're going to need cleaning because there's degradation due to dust or whatnot. It's one thing to be able to say your generator's running all right, but it's another thing to be able to forecast and understand what issues are happening, support virtual troubleshooting, and optimize how systems are performing. And so that's really one of the things that is a bit newer and more challenging in our execution and our operation.
So if I had generator, solar power, inverter, how would Shyft Solution actually help me or manage my assets, and what type of insight would I get that would actually help me change things?
So on on the very basic level, basically everything you would want to know if you were looking at your generator, if you were looking at your inverter, if you were standing right there, all of that data is presented in a very easy and accessible way via our mobile and web applications. So as I'm sitting here now, I can look at all of the sites that we manage and know exactly how much energy they've used, their power output, how much diesel's in the tank, the battery, the state of charge in the battery bank, any of those metrics or data that I as a operator or manager or even a homeowner would want to know, that data's there. But what Shyft is also doing is we're actually automating how everything works. So you really shouldn't have to touch or think about your energy assets or your power, because we're going to basically take in preferences that you as a manager or owner, asset owner, have for your system. So that might be, I want consistent, reliable power. I want to maximize the lifetime of my batteries. I want to reduce the cost of my system, or just other preferences like I only need critical power during business hours, but after that, it's okay if there's only an inverter supporting power. So those preferences are set. And then after that, no human intervention. We know human intervention often can lead to problems and whatnot. So that automation is really important, especially for some of our customers like facility management companies who want to be able to scale their operations, but they don't want to have to put staff or rely on local staff at every single site, so that they can have a dashboard and monitor everything that's going on.
I mean, what's your view of the Nigerian energy situation? How are we going to solve the energy problem from your perspective, or what would be your contribution?
Yes. So one of the most interesting things about the Nigerian energy landscape is how decentralized it already is. And so what I mean by that is, in a lot of other markets or more developed, where the energy landscape's more developed, people are often thinking about how do we move to more decentralized or distributed energy landscape, because it actually breeds resiliency, it makes it easier to maintain and operate, and it's good for cost. Now, in a market like Nigeria, you already have achieved that level of decentralization, but unfortunately it's in the form of diesel generators. So you have just a vast landscape of diesel generators that are basically an alternative to the grid. What I think is going to happen is with innovation in solar and battery technology, and you're already seeing this, you're going to see generators be more increasingly disrupted, or at least dependence on generators being offset until a point where alternatives technologies like solar and batteries can fully disrupt them, which I think is coming in the near future. And what I think the energy landscape looks like in Nigeria is you're still going to have PHCN and the discos and whatnot. You're still going to have the grid, but you're going to have these decentralized or distributed resources playing a more significant role in complementing the grid.
Okay, so final question, Shyft. So where do you see Shyft in the next 2 years from a customer perspective, and secondly from technology? So what new is coming that is going to actually, add value to customers?
Yep. So a lot of our customers today, as I've mentioned, are in real estate development. So thinking about how to build smarter, more efficient developments or communities, especially like service estates, facility management companies, and like power as a service companies or IPPs. And what I think is going to happen is their offerings, their solutions, and their ability to scale. You'll see them scaling a lot faster because they are enabled by technology like Shyft. We consider ourselves a key catalyst in the energy transition. And so while we might not be a brand that you see day to day by eye, our goal is that whenever you're using a kilowatt hour of energy, especially energy coming from a battery or solar, that more than likely it's coming from technology that's managed by Shyft, and that most of the energy companies, facility management companies that are providing you services and elevating your quality and standard of life are actually doing so leveraging Shyft technology or being enabled by Shyft technology. So we're really excited about that and how we're going to help energy service providers scale better operations in Nigeria.
That sounds very, very exciting. Ugwem, thank you for coming on to Techturks, and we'll continue the conversation offline.
Yep.